Hello everybody, Jimmy is Promo here, and today I'm going to answer a couple questions for you guys that is pertaining to the different security or the lock screens for the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus. So some of you guys have asked, hey Jimmy, what do you use for your lock screen security? And also, which ones are the best ones and which ones are more secure? So this right here will definitely answer all of those questions. So to answer the very first ones, Jimmy, what do you use for your lock screen? So I actually use 3 different types, all of them at the exact same time. So for the always on display, if I just pull it right out of my pocket and I want to get into the phone, I actually just use my fingerprint reader. So I've actually kind of came accustomed to picking up my phone differently because this phone does actually have the fingerprint reader that is on the back of the device. So when I pick up my phone now out of my pocket, my thumb and my fingers and everything is actually almost midway up. And when I'm actually holding it, my finger is just actually right next to that fingerprint reader. And that is actually how I unlock it. Now, the other way that I have this thing set up is if I don't want to use my fingerprint, maybe my finger is getting wet, maybe I'm doing dishes, maybe it's pruny from, going to the pool, whatever may happen. So if I go into the lock screen and not the always on display, you're going to notice if I swipe, this is where I'm able to use my PIN. So I do have a PIN on here. And then the other way that I have mine set up is actually facial recognition. And so I actually just lift up the phone, get it closer, kind of close to my face, and then boom, it actually unlocks it. It's actually extremely simple. And I will tell you that face recognition actually sometimes unlocks my phone before I want it to. Meaning, if I'm looking at my lock screen and I'm looking at what the time was, as well as the different notifications coming through, even though the always on display shows it, if I'm looking at it on my lock screen, it actually instantly unlocks, which is actually extremely cool. So now the other questions is, which ones are the best, or what is the most secure? So I will say right now that that's kind of up to your own opinion on which one is best for you. So you can see here that underneath the screen lock type, I do have PIN, fingerprints, and face. So if you want to throw in a PIN or the pattern or the password, this is where you'd be able to go to the screen lock type. And so I'm going to type in my password. Inside here, this is the option for the swipe, the pattern, the PIN, and the password, and then also none. And then I also turned on my face and fingerprints. So once you actually register some of your biometrics, meaning the face and the fingerprints and also the iris, this is where you turn those on. So swipe is absolutely no security whatsoever. Pattern is okay. I think it's a little old and I'm not really a big fan of that. PIN is usually the best way to do it, but just don't use 111 or 444 or 999 or 1234. Use something else. And then the password right here, this is a pretty high security. For your password, you're able to use, your uppercase letters, lowercase letters, your numbers, your symbols, and everything else. And that one right there is pretty big. But when it comes down into the biometrics, which ones of these down here are the most secure? Actually, your face recognition is actually not the most secure. If you're in a household where there's images everywhere of you, they may possibly try to unlock it, but this isn't really for the huge security reasons. This is just if you want to get in your phone pretty fast. Fingerprint, this one is 100% secure. I think the break-in ratio of fingerprinting, it's like 0.00001 or something crazy. It's really hard to replicate the fingerprint. And then the iris, this is even 200 times more secure than your fingerprint. So this right here is your answer. Which ones are the most secure? I would probably say password if you want it to be highly secure. PIN is medium to high secure. Your facial recognition, this is just something that's fun to get into it, pretty quick. But I would say fingerprint or iris. If you're going for the most secure possible ever, it will be iris, because this cannot be replicated. Also, if you're sleeping and somebody tries to pull up your eyelid, your eyes are still dilated to where the iris will not work. But if you're wearing those really, really deep, dark sunglasses in the summer, then this is where it helps to have something other than iris, and possibly maybe put in a PIN or also a fingerprint as well. So when you go in there to actually register all of these different things, this right here is for face recognition. Once you go inside here and you type in your password, this is where you'd be able to turn on the face unlock. You also have this swipe to unlock as well. It requires a swipe to unlock your phone after your face is recognized. And it says right here, remove face data. That means that the little image it took of your face, you'd be able to delete it and then restart it. And just so you guys know, you can only have one facial recognition that is on there. Now, for your fingerprint scanning, you can have several different fingerprints that is stored on there. So if you would like to have access to maybe a loved one or a family member to get into your phone, you'd be able to also have a couple fingerprints as well. So right now I actually have 2 fingerprints that are stored. And so my fingerprint up here is actually my right index finger. So it's actually really good if you guys were to go in there and actually change if you're using right or left or thumb or whatever this may possibly be, just so then if you would like to change one of them out, you're not taking off the wrong one. So maybe you can say maybe my right index, but if I have like maybe a girlfriend or wife or spouse or husband or whoever it may be, maybe put their name here so you know that you're not gonna, delete that, yours instead of theirs or vice versa. So that's how you guys would be able to set up your fingerprint scanning. And it's actually pretty easy. You just touch it 10 different times to actually get it to be set up. And then for the iris scanning, this will actually look just like the face recognition. This one, you can only do one iris, one set of irises in there, and that is actually it. So that was the video for what different types of screen locks you'd be able to use and which ones do I use, as well as which one is the most secure. Hey, if you guys found this video to be helpful, make sure you guys do a good turn daily and pay it forward, and also hit on the subscribe button on the very bottom left hand side. And then on the very bottom right hand side, you guys will be able to check out the very next video. And right above that is the playlist for the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus. See you guys later.